Imagine a man giving up his wealth, his comfort, and even his identity to dedicate himself to helping others. But what if his actions defied both societal norms and religious expectations? In 2018, at a maternity ward in Jiangsu, China, a man in monk's robes signed his name as the father on yet another birth certificate. To some, he's a hero, a living bodhisattva. To others, his story is far more complicated. Welcome to Criminal Tracks, where today we delve into the mysterious life of Dao Lu, the monk who helped over 400 women and became one of China's most controversial figures. Born in 1975 in Jiangsu Province, China, Wu Bing appeared to have everything most people could ever dream of. By his late 20s, he had built a thriving export business, amassed significant wealth, and enjoyed a life of luxury. He owned a spacious home, drove luxury cars, and even kept several expensive horses as a hobby. Yet, despite his outward success, Wu Bing found himself trapped in a cycle of monotony. Every day felt the same: work, earn, spend, repeat. The material comforts he surrounded himself with failed to fill the growing void within. In 1999, Wu Bing's life took an unexpected turn when his wife became pregnant. Their excitement was overshadowed by worry, as their marriage involved close familial ties, raising concerns about the health of their unborn child. Desperate for reassurance, Wu Bing visited a local Buddhist temple to pray for the child's well-being. There, in a moment of spiritual clarity, he made a solemn vow. If his child was born healthy, he would dedicate his life to Buddhism and become a monk by the age of 50. His prayers seemed to be answered when his daughter was born healthy and strong. Though life moved on, the spiritual seed planted during that visit to the temple grew within him. In the years that followed, Wu Bing's marriage fell apart, leaving him to raise his daughter alone. As he grappled with the emotional and practical challenges of single fatherhood, he turned to spiritual teachings for solace. It was during this time that he discovered the Diamond Sutra, an ancient Buddhist text. Its teachings ignited a sense of purpose and joy he had never felt before, inspiring him to rethink his life's direction. By 2010, Wu Bing decided to fulfill the vow he had made years earlier, but sooner than planned. With his daughter's future secured, he gave up his wealth, walked away from his business empire, and embraced monastic life. At the age of 35, he joined a temple in Henan province and adopted the Buddhist name Dao Lu. For the first time, he felt a sense of liberation, free from the burdens of worldly attachments. Chilu's transition from a life of opulence to one of humility and service was not easy, but it brought him a profound sense of peace. He spent the next 2 years traveling across China, embracing the simplicity of monastic life and deepening his understanding of Buddhist teachings. Yet, as he delved further into his spiritual journey, he could not ignore the suffering of those around him, particularly women facing unimaginable hardships. It was this compassion that would eventually define his life's work and lead him down a path that few could have anticipated. After embracing monastic life, Dao Lu quickly became aware of a hidden pain that haunted many women visiting temples: grief over lost pregnancies. Women from all walks of life came seeking spiritual solace, hoping to ease the guilt and sorrow of having terminated pregnancies. One evening, a desperate young woman arrived at the temple, pleading for help. She had recently undergone an abortion and was overwhelmed with regret. This encounter deeply moved Dao Lu, as he had already witnessed the emotional toll of such decisions on countless women. Determined to make a difference, Dao Lu resolved to help women facing unwanted pregnancies avoid such pain. In 2012, he took a bold step by posting a message on Chinese social media. "If you're pregnant and don't know where to turn, come to me. I will help you." He shared his contact information and began receiving calls from women in dire circumstances: students, single mothers, and even victims of abuse. Dao Lu opened his arms to all of them, offering not only emotional support, but also financial assistance for medical care and shelter. What started as a single act of kindness soon grew into a mission. Dao Lu converted his limited living space into a safe haven where pregnant women could find refuge. He personally funded their medical expenses, coordinated deliveries at local hospitals, and even provided long-term care for the newborns. His phone never stopped ringing, and his days became a whirlwind of compassion-driven chaos. For Dao Lu, each life he saved was a testament to his belief in the sanctity of life and the power of unconditional support. Dao Lu's mission to save lives came at a significant personal cost. Initially, he used his own savings from his former business to fund medical care, shelter, and essential supplies for the women and children he supported. However, the growing number of women seeking his help quickly exhausted his resources. To keep his mission alive, Dao Lu turned to creative fundraising. He started an online business to generate income and accepted donations from kind-hearted supporters who learned about his work. To ensure transparency, he hired a financial professional to track and publicly report all incoming and outgoing funds. Despite his good intentions, Dao Lu faced relentless criticism. Rumors circulated, accusing him of inappropriate relationships with the women he helped. Some labeled him a fraud, questioning why a monk would involve himself in such worldly matters. Religious authorities and local government officials also took issue with his unregistered shelter and unconventional methods, claiming he was operating outside the law. In 2014, Dao Lu was forced to leave his temple, stripped of his official monk status, and labeled a rogue by the Buddhist community. Yet, none of this deterred him. Dao Lu continued his work, believing his actions upheld the true spirit of Buddhism, compassion and the protection of life. For him, the stigma and sacrifices were a small price to pay to give these women and children a second chance at life. His mission became not just an act of charity, but a testament to the enduring power of empathy in the face of adversity. As Dao Lu's efforts gained attention, they also sparked heated controversy. To many, he was a compassionate hero, stepping in where society and the system had failed. But to others, he was a deeply flawed figure who had overstepped his bounds as a monk. Rumors swirled, accusing him of misconduct, including fathering the very children he was helping. Critics labeled him a fraud, questioning his true intentions and painting his actions as an attempt to gain fame or control. Religious leaders also condemned him for defying monastic rules and bringing unwanted scrutiny to the Buddhist community. Officials warned that his unregistered shelter violated local laws, and his approach of personally supporting pregnant women skirted legal and social norms. Under pressure from the Buddhist temple where he resided, Dao Lu was asked to leave, effectively cutting him off from the religious establishment. Despite these challenges, Dao Lu remained resolute. He believed his actions reflected the true teachings of Buddhism to alleviate suffering and protect life. While society debated his morality, Dao Lu focused on the women and children who depended on him. He faced judgment not as a sign of failure, but as proof of the radical empathy needed to make real change in the world. For Dao Lu, the controversy was a small price to pay for saving lives and offering hope to those who had none. Today, Dao Lu's legacy is a complex mix of hope and controversy. His shelter, known as Little Haven, continues to care for women and children, offering a refuge where society often fails. Yet, the debate over his actions remains. Supporters view him as a selfless protector of life, embodying the true essence of compassion. Critics, however, question his unorthodox methods and legal gray areas. Whether seen as a saint or a rule breaker, Dao Lu's story forces us to confront the boundaries of morality and empathy. If this story moved you, let us know your thoughts in the comments. Would you consider Dao Lu a hero or a controversial rule breaker? Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Criminal Tracks for more real-life stories that challenge the way we see the world.